This episode of Marijuana Today Daily is brought to you by our friends over at Curaleaf, one of the nation's top multi-state cannabis operators with 98 local dispensaries, 14 cultivation sites, and 13 processing facilities, serving up more than 150,000 registered medical marijuana patients. Check them out over at curaleaf.com, spelled Curaleaf. Good morning, Marijuana Nation. It's Wednesday, October 2nd, 2019, and you're tuned in to episode 810 of Marijuana Today Daily. I'm your host, Shay Gunther, and I'll be walking you through today's marijuana news and headlines. As always, we have a full and busy day of cannabis news in our hands, so let's jump right into it. Tom Angel grabs today's top spot with a story over at Forbes about the recently released crime data from the Federal Bureau of Investigations, which shows that the number of marijuana-related arrests in the U.S. is up over last year, even as progressive cannabis policy reform continues to sweep the nation. According to the new FBI numbers, 663,367 marijuana-related arrests were made by police in the U.S. last year, up from 2017's tally of just under 660,000, which was more than 2016's 653,249 arrests. You'd think that as marijuana became more legal, we'd see fewer arrests, but that's not how things are playing out. That is kind of ridiculous. Even more ridiculous is the fact that drug arrests make up a full 16% of all arrests made in this country. What a stupid waste of time and money and human potential. Swing over to Tom's story over at Forbes for the full dive in. A state lawmaker in Pennsylvania just introduced a bill into the state house that would legalize adult use marijuana and make it legal for liquor stores to sell it. State Representative Danny DeLoso said that it makes sense for liquor stores to sell marijuana, given that they are already experienced with operating in a highly regulated vice industry. This runs counter to conventional legalization wisdom and practice, which has tended to construct walls between legal marijuana and alcohol. As I've reported on in recent weeks, there's a lot of momentum right now in the Keystone State for legal cannabis, so this could find its way to passage. I don't know enough about Pennsylvania state politics, though, to say, so maybe another one that you might want to keep track of. At some point, some state is going to experiment with allowing legal marijuana and its alcohol industry to intertwine. Our final top headline today is another proposed piece of legislation, but this one is at the federal level as a pair of congressional representatives just introduced a bill that would remove the threat of losing federal financial aid for college for students convicted of marijuana-related offenses. The federal government currently penalizes students busted for certain cannabis crimes by kicking them out of college through the removal of their financial aid packages. This has been going on for almost as long as I've been involved in this movement, starting back in 1998 with the passage of the Higher Education Act. Yesterday, Democratic Representative Karen Bass of California and Danny Davis of Illinois introduced the Financial Aid Fairness for Students Act, or FAFSA Act, which would repeal the block on students arrested for cannabis crimes from getting help for college, just as long as they weren't involved in distribution. The FAFSA Act has 32 co-sponsors, a full list of which you can find, along with the bill itself, over at Marijuana Moment. Those are our top stories for today. It's time for Marijuana Today Daily Headlines Blitz. Before we blitz out in headlines, let's quickly thank our sponsor, Curaleaf, one of the nation's top multi-state cannabis operators with 49 local dispensaries, 14 cultivation sites, and 13 processing facilities serving more than 150,000 registered medical marijuana patients. Swing over to curaleaf.com, spelled Curaleaf, to check out the closest Curaleaf shop to you, because there's no better way to experience the Curaleaf difference than by making a visit yourself. You'll see right away the emphasis that Curaleaf puts on customer education as well as research and development, as their three main retail lines are designed to cover the full legal cannabis spectrum, from Curaleaf Medical Marijuana through Curaleaf Hemp and Yuku Craft Cannabis. Live life well with Curaleaf. And while you're over at Curaleaf.com, you can spend some time learning about Curaleaf the stock, now traded up on the Canadian Securities Exchange under the symbol CURA. We're super happy to have Curaleaf as our exclusive multi-state cannabis operator sponsor here at MJ Today Media, and appreciate the support of everyone over at Curaleaf in helping make today's news possible. All right, time for the Blitz. A financial analyst with firm Raymond James does not think that the current vaporizer health scare will have a long-term depressive effect on the price of cannabis stocks as the sale of cannabis vaporizers in Canada starts rolling out towards the end of the year. Raymond James analyst Raul Cerro-Gasser pointed out the building consensus that illicit marijuana vaporizers are causing most of the health issues seen in the state and said that he thinks consumers on the legal market are smart enough to tell the difference. Marijuana Business Daily's chart of the week continues on the general storyline of our previous headline, showing a slight rebound in the overall market share enjoyed by vaporizers in the 4 legal cannabis states of Washington, Colorado, Nevada, and California. While vaporizers' market share in Colorado did continue to fall, the drop has leveled off in Nevada and Washington, while picking back up in California. We're obviously still very early in this whole vaporizer health scare, which has fairly dominated our headlines for the past month or so. A new poll out of California finds that 68% of all respondents are in favor of legalizing adult use marijuana. A full 63% support the idea of dispensaries being open in their communities, an important thing to take note of considering how many parts of California remain off limits to the legal industry due to local bans and blocks. Nevada Governor Steve Sisolak just named the first executive director to lead up his state's new Cannabis Compliance Board, which will oversee both the medical and adult use industries. Governor Sisolak is appointing Tyler Klimas to lead the new agency, which is modeled after the regulatory body that controls Nevada's gaming industry. A county prosecutor in Indiana is catching some flack from fellow law enforcement officials and police after he announced that he would no longer prosecute low-level marijuana crimes. Indiana's Marion County prosecutor Ryan Mears broke the news on Monday, saying that anyone with less than 30 grams of cannabis sent before his office would not be prosecuted, mainly as a way to cut down on the racial disparities seen in police arrest statistics. Indiana's Attorney General and the state's Fraternal Order of Police are opposed to that because they are stupid when it comes to drug policy. Sometimes it's just that simple. New Jersey is reporting its first death attributed to the use of a vaporizer, saying that a woman passed away in August from vaporizer-related causes. There aren't many details with this, but NBC Philadelphia is reporting that although New Jersey has seen 14 cases of vaporizer-related health problems, none have been traced back to the use of products sold in licensed legal dispensaries. Our final story today is the unfortunate news that the state of Michigan is expanding statewide a pilot program where police tested the saliva of drivers in 5 counties for the presence of marijuana. Michigan police have been using a combination of a drug testing kit along with specially trained officers to look for people operating under the influence of marijuana, even though, as regular listeners should well know by now, that's not really actually possible. Right now, there's no current technology that allows you to verifiably determine a person's intoxication level on marijuana. You can measure how much THC metabolites they have in their blood, but that just tells you that they are cannabis consumers. It says nothing about their recent use or levels of impairment. If anyone tells you otherwise, be very, very skeptical because I follow this stuff as closely as someone can, and I've yet to see anything that holds up to the light of science. Those are the headlines of news for the day. I'll be back with you again tomorrow morning with another information-packed episode of Marijuana Today Daily. But in the meantime, if you have any stories to share or feedback to give, zip us an email to headlines@mjtodaydaily.com. And while you're clicking around the interwebs, swing over to our Twitter account at MJTodayDaily. Visit our website at mjtodaydaily.com to find links to all the news we cover. Thanks to our sponsor, Cureleaf, and to all of our awesome Patreon listeners for the support that makes this show possible. To join the illustrious ranks of the Patreon listeners yourself, swing over to our website at mjtodaydaily.com and click on that big blue button at the top of the page that says Become a Patron. I'm your host, Shay Gunther. Thanks for tuning in and starting your day with marijuana today.
One take, Shay. One take.